once again. I just want to make a little video. My father-in-law's just doing some windows. So the subject today, do I need a split relay or an auxiliary battery to run my pumps? So the answer is, it depends on what your draw is. I have set up vans this size, smaller vans. My opinion is, if you're doing residential and you are just running 2 pumps or less, you do not need an auxiliary battery. You can hook straight up to your van battery. As long as it's a good quality battery and it's not at the end of its life, you will not have a problem. So what's the advantage of that? Well, one, you do not need to buy a split charger or an auxiliary battery. You do not need to take a battery out of your van to keep charging up every other night. It's not when you're running 2 diaphragm pumps that are just ticking over all day, they will never discharge that van battery enough to cause a problem. The only time I would say it's wise to maybe go split charger and auxiliary battery is if you're doing a lot of commercial, where you're probably sitting there a couple of hours or more. But saying that, I've done that without an auxiliary battery and my van's always started. So this van here, we are actually running a split relay and auxiliary battery. Why? Well, we actually do have some electric reels here. So when you're driving big motors like that, your draw is a lot more. You need a lot more battery capacity. The chances of a battery going flat is a lot higher. And the other thing is, we are running a heater in here. We rarely use this actually, but we have that for winter and the odd sort of big commercial one-off jobs, that kind of stuff, where heat counts. So it's really to run that system. So there's lots of other questions. On a lot of newer vans, this one is a Renault Master, a Renault Trafic 2016. I have a Renault Master that's a 2019. A lot of people saying you can't run the bog standard split charge relay systems because it messes up ECU and battery control systems. So this is the auxiliary battery in here. There's a leisure battery, and there is your standard sort of split charge relay. They're quite easy to fit. What it does is it monitors when the battery's being charged on the van. When it sees it being charged, it'll connect them up and start charging this battery. The good thing about these type of chargers is they will whack in a good charge when it's flat. I think this one goes up to 140 amps, which is a lot of charge. But obviously, residential jobs, it's just trickle charging it over a day. So the other question is, so on a lot of newer vans, using these type of charge relays can cause problems with the van battery system. So technically, I've been out of the game for a little while. My understanding of it, I'm probably completely wrong here, is what's happening is the ECU controls and monitors the charging system. Unlike the old alternating systems, it will just charge it and regulate itself, which is fine. But what's happening on the new vehicles is it's probably like disconnecting the alternator, like taking the load off when you're accelerating hard or under certain circumstances, under certain road conditions. It's all in the name of reducing emissions. It's stupid. It makes things very complicated. My friend's got a new Jeep Renegade and he's always having problems with the charge system, and he hasn't even put anything else on it. It's just, they're rubbish and unreliable. Simple is always better. So you can get special charge systems for them type of vehicles, and they're like an intelligent charge system. I think there's a certain name, I can't remember what it is, like a B2 something or other the charge system's called. it doesn't whack the charge in, it sort of trickle charges it from it. I would suggest, if you're got a new van and you're worried about the charge systems, I mean, like I say, I've got this actual system with this split charge relay in a Renault Master. The Renault Masters the Renaults don't seem to have a problem with this at the moment. Maybe it's just not the same, they're not using that system, I don't know. But I know, like I think Volkswagens, things like that, transporters, caddies, you'll have a problem if you just whack a split charger on. So what it's all to do with is how much current draw's coming away from it, and messing up what the ECU's seeing on the battery, because it thinks there's a fault because it's discharging too quick probably. So the other way around it, if you want to run an auxiliary, and you don't really want the probably cheaper way, it depends what you're doing. So if you haven't got powered reels and you haven't got a heater that you're running and all this kind of stuff, and you're just running 2 pumps, but you want an auxiliary battery maybe for commercial use, or you're just worried that you're going to discharge your battery, the other probably best option is to buy an intelligent controller like these. They all come from the same company, by the way, these controllers. You'll see them relabeled maybe with, you know, all the different makes of window cleaning kit out there. You know, you can have an Ionix one, you could have a, you know, they're all just rebranded with the face on, but they're all the same controller. But Spring basically make one with a split charge relay system in it, but it's more of a trickle charge. You're probably less unlikely to get problems with ECU thinking that there's a discharge problem or something with the management of the battery system. So I personally would go with one of them. They're not that much more expensive to get that system. So yeah, you've got that option. I personally like a system that I cannot be faffing around getting a battery out and charging it. A friend of mine he just bought a Renault Berlingo, not Renault Berlingo, Citroen Berlingo, an older one, with a system. My father-in-law working there, with a system. It was fitted terribly, and an auxiliary battery, and I said to him, and he was like, I just can't be faffed with it, and we connected it up to the van battery, and it's not been a problem. He was a little bit worried at first, but it's not a problem at all. I've literally been running vans without a spare battery, auxiliary battery, or a charging system for years with just 2 pumps, and it's not been a problem. The only time you get a problem is if your battery gets really old. Your van battery gets really old, and the life of them starts shortening. The most time people start realising they've got a problem with their battery is actually in the winter. The cold kills batteries, especially when they're older, and they won't start holding their charge as they should, and that's when you'll start realising, you know, you'll turn up to a job and you'll start working and try and start the van and it'll be discharged, but that's just because the battery's knackered. What we always used to do is buy like a Bosch battery or something, with a 5-year guarantee, and change pretty much by the time you just get before 5 years, it would start discharging too quick, and then we would change it out and get another one for free. So that's what you can do. So yeah, that's probably the best option, and it's the cheapest. You're not having to faff around with split chargers and spare batteries, and it's all to do with cycles. Batteries have a cycle. Leisure batteries are designed to cycle, but even then they don't like to cycle, never really want to take them completely flat or even close to it. The sort of, like, you got to imagine a battery from 100% charge to a 0% charge. You really don't want to go below, I'd say 20% max, you know, but that's it's sort of like a dangerous area where you live in that area there, you're drastically shortening the life of that battery. They use leisure batteries, a lot of these type of leisure batteries, on solar systems, and if you keep the discharge, never go below 50%, that battery will not cycle the same and it will last a lot longer. And that's the thing, when you're drawing, if you're taking power straight off the van battery, and you'll stop all day between jobs, the alternator just charges it up. So just to recap, do you need an auxiliary battery and a split charger? Well, it all depends on your draw. I would say if you're running 2 or less pumps and they're just ticking over all day, and if you watch my other videos how to reduce the longevity of the pumps, and to make them work less hard. You don't need an auxiliary battery, in my opinion, unless you're doing commercial and you're on a job all day. But yeah, I've been running them like this for years, and we've had great success.